Alright, YouTube, KTM here, again. Yeah. As I promised, I'm making this video about intelligent design, specifically from a video I was sent to by the great TristanPEJ? I don't even know. I'll put his link in the video description box over here somewhere. Okay? Alrighty. So, with that said, let's begin. Jesus, I'm a little hyper today, aren't I? So, this guy starts off his video saying, I am a highly trained physician. You must believe what I say. And he goes on and on about that for a little while, tells all his credentials, and apparently he's a very smart guy. And I can sympathize with that, and I'm particularly proud of him for being a physician, because that is hard as hell! I don't do that kind of work myself, but I do work in a hospital, so I kind of know what it's like. Anyway, so all the training that he took, and he goes and then disputes evolution, and I'm saying, you know, if there's anyone who would have a good explanation against evolution, it's this guy. I was wrong. I was so horribly wrong. Basically, this guy believes the tired old creationist argument, then again, when our creation argument's not tired and old, that because we haven't observed macroevolution, then therefore macroevolution must not exist. And also he continues to call it Darwinism. Why the fuck do you keep doing that? Ah! It's not a religion. It is not, it does not require any faith whatsoever. Do you not get that through your skull, man? Yeah! It is not a belief because belief implies it requires a system of faith. It implies that you somehow need to believe in something that there's no evidence for. No! Evolution is science. The only reason they do this is so that they condense the massive amount of sciences against them, including cosmic theory, planetary development theory, evolution, abiogenesis, all those sciences that are basically saying you're wrong. Oh, and thermodynamics. They say you are wrong, we are right, you are retards, we are not, and basically condensing them down into something and trying to give the illusion that it is a system of belief. No, it is fucking not. So stop calling it that. It's, please, for the love of God, stop calling it Darwinism. Richard Dawkins does that, you know. That drives me crazy. Basically, he uses the argument that we haven't observed macroevolution, as I said before. And I would just like him to know that macro-fucking-evolution and micro-fucking-evolution are constructs created by you guys. There is no difference, because there are no two different types of DNA. It does not work like that. Ugh. You either need that, or you need some kind of crazy other thing. But basically, this guy says, I work with the cells and amoeba every day, and I do not see them, I see them gaining micro-evolutional resistance to antibiotics, but I do not see them gaining, any other things and becoming something else. Well, of course not. And that's because, and the theory of evolution explains why this does not happen. For evolution to happen, you need several things. These include, but are not limited to, environmental attrition, sexual reproduction, random mutation of genes, the only part of evolution that is random, and other external factors. And these can be accounted for anything. For example, a lion isn't going to evolve sharper teeth unless the antelope it hunts develops a thicker hide. Those should both take about the same time. Now, that being said, if an environment stays the same, or if an organism has managed to function in that environment perfectly well, then it is not going to evolve. It would have no reason to evolve, you know that? Think of it. A lion is a great hunter, and it's best at what it does. It's great at hunting, and it's able to do what it needs to do. And until the antelopes evolve a reason for somehow needing to, or rather, the antelopes need to continually survive. So there's going to be minor evolution, i.e. thicker hides or sharper teeth going on in that environment, but because the environment hasn't changed drastically, there's not going to be drastic changes in the animals. Now, let's say that there's a drastic change from sea to land. That's going to take a long time. And, considering it, macro evolution does take a very long time. This Earth has been around for somewhere about 4 billion years, somewhere thereabouts, and we've only seen what I would consider 5 specific five major changes, and that is single-celled eukaryotes to multiple-celled eukaryotes that live in water, fish to amphibians, amphibians to reptiles, and reptiles to mammals, and reptiles to birds. Those are the 6 biggest evolutionary changes that have happened, and they have taken a number of myriad species to do, like Archaeopteryx, my favorite transitional fossil. So you're not going to get some new aberration sin against God creature overnight. And you're not going to get it over 10 million nights either. It's going to take a long, long, long time. It's going to take millions of years if you want something big to change. And basically, what this has to do with this guy is that to get past antibiotics, yeah, their environment has changed. Environmental nutrition. But, even though the environment has changed, it has not become unstable. And therefore, they can still find a way to work with it. Therefore, all they need to do is make themselves immune to antibiotics after a couple, whatevers. But they don't need to sprout little legs and start crawling all over things. They don't need to. They don't have any reason to do that. So they're not gonna! I mean, sure, I suppose it would be advantageous to do such, but, they're working perfectly fine in their environment, and they don't need dramatic changes. And technically speaking, neither does anything else, in a way. It just wants those changes for survival. So I guess it kind of needs those changes, but I don't know. I'm getting into vague Darwinism that I'm probably going to be quote mined for talking about this shit. So I'm going to watch my words from now on. Okay, maybe not. And besides, no matter what happens, you're never going to get a species that is entirely different than its predecessor. And I mean that seriously. And no, I hope and pray to God that creationists do not quote mine me on that. Basically, what that means is that if in 10 million years or something, we become some kind of fucked up giant tentacled beast things, or we become like giants with snakes for legs, or breathe fire, something like that, we're still going to be primates. Think about it. We're still going to be primates. That's the way evolution works. Humans are still theoretically fish. Humans are still reptiles. Humans are still primates. Humans are still everything that we ever once were. Humans are, theoretically speaking, organisms made of cells, which means we are eukaryotes. Basically, I think the best way to look at it is the way I've seen it put in another video. I think it was by CDK 2007. I don't know. But basically, what his point was that evolution is sort of like looking at a picture of a baby, and then looking at a picture of that baby is when he's a toddler, then maybe when he's a kid, then a teenager, then an adult, and then, a little bit older, and so on. And how does that happen? Well, not instantaneously, I'll bet you that. Happens over time. Technically, you are changing right now. Your skin is dying and being regrown, and your nails are growing. They're longer now than they were, just when I started saying this sentence. A fruit fly is not going to become some kind of aberration, monstrosity type thing without a good long couple million years. We getting that straight? Alright. I hope we have, because I'm getting bored now. So, I'm going to say peace, love, and flowers. Mwah!